Hello, my friend. Welcome to the Believe You Are a Good Mom podcast. I'm Emily Wardrop from Drop the Word Life Coaching, where we help moms of young kids drop power struggle wars to create more peace in their parenting. Do you want to be a good mom? I will tell you the one simple secret of how to be a good mom. You already are. Don't believe me? You've come to the right place. I'm glad you're here. I've got you. Because when you truly believe you are a good mom, everything will change for you as you live into the truth of who you've always been. Let's get started. Okay, welcome back, my friends, to the Believe You Are a Good Mom podcast. I am solo episoding today. So if you were expecting me to introduce my guest, there's not one. Welcome back. I'm back. The sun is rising. The kids are in school. We're up early. We're doing this thing. Waking up early before the kids get up means it's too dark outside to go down to the river. So my beautiful summer mornings are officially over and I'm mourning their loss. But I get to spend time with you again instead. And let me just take a second and sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for listening. I know there are endless possibilities of consuming options just in podcasts. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of options of things you could be listening to. And that just scratches the surface of entertainment options available. And I want to thank you so much for spending your precious time with me today. So thank you for listening. If you find any value, please give it a 5-star rating so that other people can find the podcast and believe that they are a good mom also, because who doesn't need to believe that they are a good mom? Absolutely no one. Well, the dads, I guess. Everyone, let's remind ourselves that we are good, okay? All right, today we are talking about get your own heart. What? So it is a common phrase thrown around in coaching world and probably all the worlds, but I don't know because I mostly hang out in the coaching world. To get your own back, right? So what the heck does that even mean? We'll talk about, and why getting your own heart is actually a more fun metaphor, in my opinion, that I've been experimenting with lately. So get your own back. Why do we say that? It's one of those things that's like, oh, it doesn't matter what other people think. You decide, you make a decision and you stick with it and you get your own back about it. So what does that mean? So let's put it in context of believe you are a good mom, right? So you decide what kind of mom you want to be. You decide what's important to you and you drop the rest, right? And you are a good mom, even if it looks different than the mom next door, the mom who raised you, the mom who's raising your nieces and nephews, right? You are a good mom. You decide what that means and you get your own back, which means other people can have different thoughts about it and that doesn't have to affect you. Okay, that's basically what get your own back means, right? Is that that you just kind of let everyone else have their own opinions and you stand by your opinion, right? So the more I think about getting your own back, it feels like an armor. It feels like it's like a stiffening, like it's a protection, right? Because we're protecting ourselves from the onslaught of opinions outside of ourselves, right? So if I decide I don't care if my kid's hair is brushed or not, and I send them off to school and they walk to school, so I don't even have to like think about being embarrassed because I'm not there seeing them at school compared to all the other kids who have their cute little hair done. Then, that's easy to do. I made my decision. That's not a battle I want to pick this morning. I'm going to send them off to school without their hair brushed. And I know you're sick of this example, but it's just the first one that comes to mind all the time. So it's easy to get my own back when I'm not really feeling that peer pressure, right? And I'm like, as soon as they feel the peer pressure, then they'll want to brush their hair and we'll do it. Like, that's always been my theory. I'm like, as soon as they care, then I'll care, right? The only opinion I care about is theirs. Everyone else can, have their opinion, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're going to get our own backs, right? The only opinion that matters is my son's opinion of his long hair. If he doesn't want to cut it, then I don't care. I don't care what the principal thinks. I don't care what grandma thinks. I don't care what, his friends think if he doesn't care, right? As soon as he cares, then we'll do something about it. That's kind of the idea of get your own back, right? And as far as that I'm, I am still a good mom, right? I'm a good mom. I let my kids not brush their hair, and I'm still a good mom. Now, other people's opinions, I'm sure that the masses make that mean I'm a terrible mom, and that's fine because I've got my own back, right? Do you get the idea of what I've got my own back means? But as I think about it, it sort of is a shell, an armor, a protection, a stiffening, right? And I'm not sure that that's what I want, right? Ultimately, what I want is love, right? Love is kind of the ultimate goal always. Jesus says that's the greatest commandment, right? Is to love others, love God, love ourselves. This is what we're trying to do. So, in an effort to love myself, I, make this decision about what love is for me and my family, and then I stick to it. But if the act of getting my own back is putting like a wall, a boundary, a armor around me from the outside world and all their onslaught of opinions, then that's not feeling like love so much. What feels more like love is to get my own heart. So this is what we're going to talk about today. Instead of putting up an armor that protects you from outside influences by getting your own back, what we're going to do is get our own hearts. Okay. So basically, get your own back means that you clean up your own thoughts, and so it doesn't matter what other people think, because really, if you think that someone else is thinking it, it's because you're thinking it, right? So if you're worried that people think that people are gonna think that you're a bad mom because you didn't whatever, then it's really because you're still thinking that you're a bad mom because you didn't whatever. So that's what we mean by clean up our own thoughts, right? We get together with a coach, we examine our thoughts, figure out, why we're thinking that, and then decide if we want to continue to think it intentionally, right? That's kind of the thought work that we do. And so if we decide that we like our reasons, and we, really know that we are a good mom, even if, whatever, then that's getting our own back, right? So really, if you're worried about what they're thinking, it's because you're thinking it, because you're not in their brains. You don't know what they're thinking. The only thing you know, the only thoughts you know are your own thoughts. So you're really just projecting your own thoughts onto this elusive they, whoever they is, right? And they might have a face. Like, my mother-in-law is going to think whatever. And yeah, maybe she actually said it, so you know that she's thinking it. But most of the time, we're just projecting our own thoughts onto other people. And so as soon as we clean up our own thoughts, then it's easier to get our own back, right? But see how that's like them and us. There's still like that contention there. There's a little bit of a war, right? And we're going to drop the war by getting our own heart, okay? So we can open up our hearts. We can take down our walls. We can love, right? The idea of opening your heart is love, right? So in fact, we're supposed to have a broken heart, which has a different connotation, like in pop culture, right? So it's not that like a breakup and our heart is broken. It's that we're breaking our hard heart to have access to our soft heart underneath, right? So we got to be able to get our own heart in order to be vulnerable and open our heart and crack it open a little bit, crack open that cascara, what's that in English? The shell of protection that we have around our heart. So what we need to do is to be able to get our own heart in order to love, right? So we don't need to be continuing to put more armor on our back and have stiff necks. We need to have stiff necks and hard hearts, right? We're trying to crack open our heart, have a soft heart that's open and vulnerable and ready to love and share. And the way we do that is to first love ourselves in order to love everyone enough to let them have their opinions. So it's not that we have this shield that's deflecting the opinions of other people, that they're just going to, the arrows are going to fall off of our shield. Instead, we're opening everything up, softening everything, and letting them in, and knowing that their arrows are not going to damage our heart because we've got our own heart. So the way to get your own heart is to love yourself and then love others. Okay. So it sounds kind of basic, but it's really, really complicated. So the basic, most important commandment is to love, and it's the real deal. Like, maybe you're good at loving your friends, neighbors, even maybe coworkers. But then see how the closer people are, the more time you spend with people, the harder it is to stay in love. And I think that is the whole point of this life, right? Is to figure that out. And that's why we're put in families and communities, and we're not solo species, right? We're a community species, because the purpose of life is to learn how to love. So we don't need to get our own back in an armor sort of way. We need to get our own hearts, meaning we're going to protect our heart, even though it's cracked and open and vulnerable and ready to love, to accept love coming in and give love going out. And the way we do that is to love ourselves. So it's the same idea. It's just softer. So once I love myself enough to know that I am a good mom, even if whatever that means on the outside is different than someone else's opinion, I love myself. I'm not like getting defensive and protecting myself. I just know that it's all good because I love and accept myself. Then I'm more able to be open and vulnerable and let you have your thoughts and opinions, because I love you also, and I know that you're a human doing the best you can, and that we're all just flawed and we all have our own thoughts and feelings and whatever, and it's all good, right? So all the principles we talk on this podcast about all the time is how to get your own heart, right? So as soon as we know that we are good, then we can expose that most vulnerable part of ourselves, our heart, and know that we're not going to be rejected from the tribe and be cast out and all the things that our brain means are tigers, other people's opinions. We literally are, our nervous system just goes on automatic mode to protect us, because we've made it mean all throughout our life that that's a threat, other people's opinions. So the more we can love ourselves and calm our own nervous systems and know that their opinions are not a threat that's really going to injure us, then we know that it's safe to open up our hearts and be vulnerable and be who we want to be and be our true selves. And that's what opening our heart is figuring out who we actually are and being more of that girl, being ourselves. And the reason we don't be ourselves is because we're hiding behind that defensive, getting our own back thing. So instead of getting our own back, we're going to get our own heart and know that when we're ourselves, people are going to reject us. They are going to have their thoughts and their judgments, but it's not going to hurt us because we've got our own heart. Does that make sense? So how do we do it? How do we love ourselves? Well, the answer is always either thought work or emotion work, right? Around here, that's the coach answer. So we can figure out what the thoughts are, clean them up. We can feel all our feels, and meditation is the way that I've been using for the past few months to get my own heart to love and accept myself. Shout out to Brooke Snow's Co-Create app. Her most basic meditation that she even has a 40-day challenge is to, I love and accept yourself. That's the mantra. I love and accept you, Emily. Put your own name over and over and over, right? So we're retraining our brains to believe that we love and accept ourselves. And we can use that as a redirect in our thought work too, whenever we find ourselves judging ourselves or worrying about other people's judgments of us. And we've got this visual of like just closing up, hardening our heart, hiding behind a shell. Then we can breathe open and remember that we've got our own heart. We love and accept ourselves. Okay. So feeling work, right? Basically what we're doing when we're trying to protect our heart is we're trying to protect our feelings, right? We're all completely mortified of feeling bad, right? Nobody wants to feel bad. So we do everything in our power to feel good all the time. That's kind of the human goal, right? Is to just not feel bad. So the more we understand that feelings are not a problem that need to be fixed, we don't need to be scared of them. We can just embrace them all, feel them all. They don't feel great, but we can handle it. We're not going to die. In fact, resisting the emotions is what's going to make us die. So we got to embrace our emotions. We've got the Raising Emotionally Healthy Family Summit going on still. So many amazing takeaways on how to deal with our emotions. We're going on week 2. We're only halfway through, so it's not too late to join. There's a link in my bio on how to sign up for that. I'll put the link in the show notes. Seriously, the emotion work is how you open your heart, because your heart is the center of your emotions, right? So if we're willing to feel all the feels, then we don't have to protect our heart from the feelings. We just embrace them, get our own heart, know that we can handle any emotion that's coming. So one of the whole things about get your own back, right, is that we don't want to be too sensitive, right? Like I have a daughter who's really sensitive, and her feelings get hurt really easily, right? And so that's what we're talking about here, is that like if we've got our own heart, then our feelings can't get hurt as easily. And that's not necessarily what I'm saying, because your feelings are not a problem that need to be fixed. So if you have a more sensitive nervous system that takes in stimuli and makes it mean that it's a threat and a danger, and that's just the way your nervous system, that's just the way your body is wired, and that's fine. So it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you if you're more sensitive and that you need to be less sensitive. It's just getting your own heart means that you know that about yourself, and you have even more love and compassion for yourself when other people are doing their thing. Right? So people are going to be people. We're going to take it how we take it. And when you hear things like you can choose to be offended or not, it's a choice, but it may be an easier or harder choice for you, depending on how sensitive your nervous system is. And so just know that there's nothing wrong with you. It's just your biology, your physiology, just the way that your body processes stimuli, right? And so knowing that, you can have more of that self-compassion and get your own heart. So it's okay to be as sensitive as you need to be. We're not saying we're trying to walk around and be robots. We're just saying that the more awareness we have, the more acceptance of that awareness, then we can live into alignment of who we are, right? Our AAA batteries. So all the feelings are fine. All the emotions. That's what we're talking about here, is being okay with all of it, loving everything. We're talking good emotions, bad emotions. They feel good in the body. They're socially unacceptable. All the feelings, right? And that is how you get your own heart. That is my random ramblings about such. So as I was kind of planning the podcast out in my mind last night, I was like, I'm definitely going to need an outline this time. And then as I sit down and do my outline, I'm like, nope, just going to go for it, as I do. So thank you for hanging with me in my ramblings. If any of that strikes a chord, is of interest, but you're like, she really didn't explain that very well, and you want to apply it to you personally, I still have free RBCs going on, Relationship Boost Calls. I have a little formula for those calls, but we can throw the formula out and talk about whatever you want to talk about on those calls. So if there's anything you ever hear on this podcast that you're like, that's intriguing, but I have lots of questions, I would love to hop on a Zoom call, you and me, and let's talk about those questions, figure out how it applies to your life and how you can get your own heart, because this is a concept that I just thought of the other day. And so I haven't ruminated on it for that long or applied it too much. And so let's apply it to your life specifically to make it make more sense. I'm applying it to my life recently, and it's been really good. So let me give you 2 examples. I have this client who will remain anonymous, but if she's listening, shout out to you, because I don't have permission to share the story. So she was telling me about her business and her thoughts and feelings about her business, whatever. And then she was concerned about her husband's thoughts and feelings about her business. Right. And I just found myself saying, well, you've just got to get your own back, which basically means like, you know that this business is important. You know what you're doing is valuable. He just wants to see the money, I think was kind of the idea. Like, if you're going to be spending time away from the kids working on this business, where's the money, right? And you just got to get your own back, that you know that your business is a garden, it's growing, it takes time, all the things, right? Get your own back. I kept kind of wanting to go to that phrase. And then I was coaching her another time on filling out applications for grad school. And she was kind of stuck in, I don't know what we could call it, like perfectionism mode or whatever, like wanting it to be really good. And so the more she wanted the answers to these applications to be good, the less she even did nothing on filling out the application, because she was stuck in worrying about what the judges are going to judge on her. She's literally filling out an application that will be judged to decide whether she gets into grad school or not. So there are times you definitely are worried about other people's judgments, but you have no idea what those people are thinking, right? You only know what you're thinking that they're thinking. So if you're thinking it, you're thinking that they're thinking it, then that really means that you're thinking it, right? And so you can clean up your own thoughts and fill out the application, right? Get your own back, right? Meaning you just tell the truth, right? The answers to those questions, that is the truth, and get your own heart, meaning no matter what they judge about the answers, you have been yourself, you've been true to yourself, you've been vulnerable, you've been open, you've been soft and loving. Your truth is in those answers. And if someone judges them and doesn't let you into grad school, well, you've got your own heart, right? Like, you don't have to change your answers in order to try to appease what you think that they need, what you think they want to hear, right? So getting your own heart is that, right? It's just being yourself and not being worried about the judgments of other people. And as soon as we could figure out how to do this, I mean, I'm saying it like it's an actual thing that's possible, but I for sure have not figured out how to do it. It's a theory, right, that I'm constantly working on. But in theory, the more we are ourselves, the more we give everyone around us permission to be themselves. And can you imagine what a beautiful world it would be if we weren't all trying to just be cookie cutter copies of each other, but we are being our true selves, finding out who that is and then doing it. It's like in the new Little Mermaid, there's that little twist where she didn't remember that she's supposed to be kissed to break the spell. That's kind of like our earth life here, right? So before we came to earth, we were these amazing beings, but we needed to have an earth life body experience. We were just spirits, but we were us. We were spirits. Our spirit existed forever. And then we come down and we have to be tested in these bodies and have this earth life experience and all the things that come with that, emotions. And we don't remember who we were. But when we get little glimpses here and there and we really feel like our true selves, that's like a hint of who we really are, helps us in this life. So the kind of the goal is to try to remember, right, what we've forgotten in order to be ourselves, right? And then to get full access to our awesomeness. So once we know who we are, then we can get our own heart about that and live into our true selves and give everyone around us permission to do so also. It would be amazing. So that's the theory. Good luck with it. And if you want help, sign up for a free RBC, dropthewar.com/appointments to sign up for your free RBC. And I will see you on Zoom. Thanks, friends. Bye. Hi, thanks so much for listening. Have you signed up for your RBC yet? What is an RBC? Well, it's a Relationship Boost Call, and I am gifting 365 of these for free this year. So go to dropthewar.com/appointments to find a time that works for both of us. We'll hop on Zoom for a quick 15 to 20 minutes, and all you got to do is have somebody in mind that you want to improve your relationship with. It's fun, it's easy, it's a good time. You're going to feel amazing afterwards. And no strings attached. Just come on, have a great free coaching call, and then go on your way. And you can come back for as many as you need, because we know it's no one and done around here with relationships. So go to dropthewar.com/appointments to find a time that works for both of us. And let's get boosting those relationships. See you there. Bye.